get this book. Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I am bringing you more underhyped books. So you guys seem to enjoy, I will link above and below the part 1 of this video, which was, underhyped books that I think I don't hear people talking about, that I love, I don't know why. So I'm gifting you these books. And I just really enjoyed making that video because I think, you know, you see the same books over and over and over on Booktube, and that's great. People talk about them for a reason, and that's great. But there are so many books that don't get the, you know, the hype that they deserve. Lots of reasons why a book could be underhyped. But I really like bringing those kind of books to my channel when, you know, you can find the viral books on like every channel. So I definitely feel like I want to bring more of these kind of videos more often. So I have 5 more underhyped books to share with you today, 2 of which are based off movies, not the other way around. So that's a little different. So you have to see what those are. And why wait? Let's talk about the first one. The first one is On the Edge of Daylight by Giselle Beaumont. And this originally was a Titanic movie fan fiction. And yeah, don't hold that against it, guys. Don't hold that against it. But I got influenced this. It's weird because I got, like, it was an Instagram ad, which I'm saying, like, nobody's talking about these books, which I guess it just found me, like, because I don't know. I got influences on an Instagram ad and I kept seeing it and I was like, I'd like that. Like, that looks really good. So I ended up buying it, got it, devoured it. I was so excited to read it, anticipated a 5-star read. It was a 5-star read. Here's a picture of me finishing it. Red-eyed, upset, sad. Like, obviously, it's a book about the Titanic. It's not going to be the happiest book you've ever read. But, so, it is based off a Titanic fan fiction. The Jack and Rose and Cal story is in the background, even though they've changed it enough to not be like a blatant copy. But if you like squint, you see them there in the back. It's happening in the background for sure, but that's not what the story is about. It's not about those characters or even the characters that they were changed into for this story. It is about First Officer Wyndham Murdoch, who is in the movie, was a real person. He died in the sinking. And yeah, it's about him. And he is the first officer and the fictional character Esther Bailey. So she is the first female officer ever to serve on White Star Line. So she's kind of like a officer in training, and the first officer's responsibility is to like serve with her, like do his like watches with her, and like basically have her shadow him. So she is his responsibility for the maiden voyage of the Titanic. She has like gone to school for like maritime. She's done all the work that any other person would have done. But of course, she's not getting the opportunities because she is a woman. And thankfully, she does have some connections. Some things, like some strings get pulled so she can get this position on Titanic's maiden voyage, which she deserves. But she has to call in a favor to get what she deserves. So of course, nobody is happy about this. Like Captain Smith, all the officers, nobody is happy about this. Least of all, Murdoch. And through a little misunderstanding, he dislikes her even more than everyone else because he thinks that she's responsible for something that kind of hindered his career a bit. So this book is very much enemies to lovers, and it's not just like a straight enemies to lovers. Oh, they like understand each other now, and then they become friends, and then no. You think we're heading somewhere, and then it's like a back. 2 steps forward, 4 steps back, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. They're friends. Oh, no, they're not anymore. Like, so, emotional roller coaster, this one. And then we're not even talking about, you know, the boat and what happens on the boat. So, the ship, excuse me. And yeah, so they start working things out. But then, even at that point, I feel like I'm going to spend the whole video talking about this book. But even at that point, when they're like, oh, we like each other, they have a very strict no fraternization rule on White Star Line, so she would lose her reputation completely as the first female officer. She has a lot she's blazing a trail for women in the future, and she realizes what would happen if she got caught with an officer. Like, it would ruin things for many women down the line, not just her. So she feels that immensely. And then if Wyndham gets caught. He's like 2 positions away from captain. So he would be fired from White Star Line and he would never become a captain, which is like the end of his career. So there is a lot riding on them deciding to take things further. And then, you know, a couple of days go by and there might be an iceberg. Something might be happening with an iceberg. I don't know. Rumor that there might be an iceberg getting in the way. So I loved this book. I ate it up. This is the first book I actually went back and annotated. I only got like halfway through and then I never went back and annotated the rest. I should do that. But even talking about this makes me want to reread this book again. What do I have? It's in the other bookshelf in the office. Yes, if you like angst, like high stakes, forbidden love, enemies to lovers, and you like the whole Titanic lore, get this book. I loved it. It's pretty long. It has original artwork in it by the author. Like, oh my gosh. Like, I love this book so much. I can't believe people aren't talking about this. It's like an amazing romance. So please go check this out. The next book I want to talk about is The Lonely Hearts Trivia Night by Lauren Farnsworth. This book came to me in a really roundabout way. I don't even remember why I added it to my TBR. I guess like it sounded interesting, but it was on there for a very long time. And then I pulled a TBR pull out of my jar one month and it said your lowest rated book on your TBR. And it was this book. I was like, okay, low expectations. And I was like really surprised. And I had never heard of this book. Obviously I came across it somewhere and added it to my TBR, but did that and then forgot about it. Never heard about it since. And so it's basically about this woman who wants to join a pub quiz. She needs a team. There's like big competition. And so she kind of puts a notice out that she's looking for teammates, and all these like different, like this group of like strangers, all for their own reasons, reach out and become part of the team. And they all have their own like things going on in their life, their struggles, and for each of them, this team gives them something, whether it's like friendship, like they all have their host of reasons that, and then being part of this trivia team gives them something, adds something to their life. And I thought it was great. It's very character driven. I was like shocked by how good this book was, and nobody talks about it. I gave it 4 stars. I was expecting like to be a DNF because it was like had a pretty low rating on Goodreads, and I don't know why. It gives strong Sally Rooney vibes. So if you like Sally Rooney, I think you would like this book. I don't know, it just gave those Sally Rooney vibes to me, and I love everything she writes. So yeah, and it just becomes like a little found family. So if you like found family, they really show up for each other through being on this team. And I just think it's such a good book. It was really like heartwarming, and yeah, it was a big surprise for me. A more recent book that I've read that I feel like people aren't really talking about is Bring Down the Stars by Emma Scott. It is the first in the Beautiful Hearts, I believe. Yeah, Beautiful Hearts, book number 1. And I did see this on a recommendation video somewhere. I don't remember. Maybe it was like love triangles, because I love a love triangle. But the love triangle, I feel like the love triangle thing might come in the second book. It's not really a thing. There's no choice to make, like in the beginning, like for the majority of this book, like there's no like 2 guys vying for the same girl the whole time. But anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. So I read this pretty recently and I was like, this is really good. I read this on my like 9-hour flight from Dublin to San Francisco, which I can link above and below. And yeah, I just read it the whole time and it was very good. It's a Cyrano de Bergerac retelling where Weston and Connor are best friends. They come from opposite sides of the track. Basically, they become friends as kids and yeah, stay friends through college. And they both have very good together. They're like the perfect guy. Like Weston is very deep and quiet and kind of brooding and quiet and all that. Like, I think I said that already. And Connor has like the personality. He's outgoing, he's cheerful and all this, but he might not be super deep. So these 2 friends at the same time, but not together, meet this girl named Autumn, and they both like have a very strong connection to her. So Weston feels like he owes Connor a lot, and he doesn't pursue things with Autumn, and he lets Connor do so. And as they start the relationship, Connor kind of relies on Weston to kind of like, what do I say? Like, help me write this, whatever. So who Autumn is falling in love with is getting muddled because it's like Connor, but there's a lot of Weston's influence and like saying the right thing and like how he feels about her because he actually like through this whole time is still in her life and everything. So yeah, there's a love triangle, but Autumn doesn't know that there's a love triangle really. So yeah, and they join the military near the end of the book. So it kind of ends on a cliffhanger. I am going to read the second book, but I'm surprised this isn't like a bigger series or a bigger book. So if you like a Cyrano de Bergerac retelling, kind of like a love triangle, like pining, forbidden love, all of that, like kind of like mistaken identity, because she doesn't really know who Connor is, really. Like there's parts of Weston there that she doesn't know. She's thinking it's Connor. So if those are the kind of things you like, yeah, of course, like the angst, the heartbreak, which I love, check out Bring Down the Stars. The next book is the other one that I said is based on a movie. So the novelization of the movie Crimson Peak by Nancy Holder. And I love that movie. It's like one of my favorite horror movies. And when the novelization came out, I was like, yeah, I'll read it. And I just loved it. I felt like it plussed the movie up. And you got like so much more, because there's a lot of like, okay, let me talk to you what it's about first. I don't remember the characters' names, sorry. So there's this girl who, she's living with her father, and this like gentleman caller comes around and his sister, and they kind of get involved in their lives, and her father dies. So she marries that guy, and the three of them, the sister, her and her husband, move to like their ancestral home. And it's like, it's Crimson Peak. And it's a really old, crazy house built on like, the ground is like a red clay. So it looks like blood. And some crazy things, she starts seeing some creepy stuff, some weird stuff. Her sister-in-law is a bit weird. And there's just a lot of stuff that starts coming out about her sister-in-law and her husband, the house. She's seeing some freaky things. Yeah, so that's what the movie's about. But like, obviously you get all that. But then in the book, there's a lot of, especially with her husband, there's a lot of stuff behind the eyes, kind of, if I'm saying that right, that you can't know in the movie. You know eventually, but kind of like seeing behind, in their thoughts the whole time as you watch the movie, but in the book, when you go through their heads the whole time, it just adds another layer to it. And I really, really enjoyed this book. I think my review at the time was, this is what my nightmares or dreams are made of. Like, I absolutely loved this novelization of Crimson Peak. Super surprised by it. Have never heard anybody talk about it, ever. But it's a great horror book, period. But obviously it's a novelization of the movie. So yeah, if that sounds interesting to you, you need to pick this up. The last book I'm going to talk about is a historical fiction, and it's called The Last Christmas in Paris, and it's by Hazel, Gaynor, and Heather Webb, 2 authors, so I wanted to make sure I got that right. And like I said, this is a historical fiction, World War I, and it's about Evie, Will, who are siblings, and then Thomas, who is Will's best friend. So this book is mostly told through telegrams, letters, things like that, written correspondence in some way. So Will and Thomas go off to the war. Evie is writing to them and also doesn't want to just be left at home while the war is going on. So she gets very involved in the war effort. And yeah, Christmases go by. They had the agreement that the war will be over by Christmas. So they're going to meet in Paris for Christmas. But of course, that does not happen. The war gets much worse and goes on for much longer than a few months or whatever was initially predicted. So I won't give any spoilers away, but I mean, as you would imagine, going to war, like World War I and going to war leaves there's a lot, it's high risk. There's a lot of chance you could die, obviously. And there's a lot of trauma, even if you make it home, there's a lot of trauma around it. So, and then that's kind of Will and Thomas's side of it. And then Evie is trying to get involved in the war effort, be productive, make a difference. And yeah, and she has these 2 people, obviously, that she loves so much out there, deployed during World War I. So stuff happens. And yeah, they kind of like catches up on Christmases, and then it does go through like the war years. So it goes from like 1914, I believe, and then it ends in 1968. So there's like quite a time jump at the end there. Great historical fiction, 5-star read. Never heard anybody talk about this book. There's a plethora of World War II historical fiction. And there's plenty of World War I too, but it is less common. So if you into that, like the romance, the letters, World War I, historical fiction, check out this book. So those are 5 more books that I think deserve a lot more hype. I will definitely be combing through my read list, things I've read to see, and obviously as I'm reading more books, to make another one of these videos. I actually really enjoy kind of bringing these like lesser known books to my channel. And I've seen a few on Goodreads start reading some of the books that were in my first video. And you said that you've added to the TBR, so I'm so excited. Please let me know if in the first book, in the first video or this one, if you've ended up reading any of these, what you thought. I would really like to know. Yeah, please subscribe if you haven't already. And please be sure to stop into our reading and productivity sprints that we have about twice a week. It's a great group in there. You can get some reading or whatever you need to do. You can get that done. In the description box below, you can find my wish list, Goodreads, Bookstagram, all the things. And I'll see you next time.